Spend enough time with an infant, and you'll witness a sudden, universal shift. A compliant, agreeable baby reaches a point just past their first birthday and transforms into a rigid toddler, whose default response is a forceful no. Most parents meet this defiance with strict binary commands, demanding the child put on your shoes now. The result is almost always the same: a total, screaming, emotional collapse. This sudden stubbornness isn't a behavioral defect or a sign of the terrible twos. It is the physical manifestation of a massive shift in their brain architecture. Navigating this phase requires moving past the instinct for stricter discipline and looking instead at the hard science of cognitive development. Between 12 and 18 months, children hit a critical developmental milestone. They realize for the first time that they are a distinct individual, completely separate from their parents. This self-awareness triggers an intense biological drive to prove that independence. It's the origin of the constant, desperate refrain, "Me do." This newly formed ego acts like a fragile, defensive barrier. Its purpose is to protect the emerging sense of self from outside control. When a toddler resists a command, they aren't being malicious. They are providing proof of healthy, necessary neurological progress. This behavior is driven by the downstairs brain, which handles primal emotions and threats. Above it is the upstairs brain, responsible for logic, but currently an incomplete construction zone. A rigid demand bypasses the unbuilt upstairs and violently strikes the reactive downstairs. The result is an overwhelming emotional surge. Because the hardware in the upstairs brain is still missing, the child is physically incapable of regulating that reaction. Relying on direct commands often leads to frustration because the toddler's brain simply hasn't built the internal circuitry required to override its own defensive impulses. Pediatric experts suggest a different approach. Shift from enraging the brain to engaging it by offering two simple, controlled choices. Do you want the red shirt or the blue shirt? Framing a demand as a choice bypasses the reactive downstairs brain and that defensive ego shield. This strategy feeds the child's need for autonomy, allowing them to feel empowered and in control of their own small world. Critically, analyzing the options forces the child to route information upward, which actively engages their developing upstairs brain. This decision-making process boots up a high-level cognitive operating system called executive function. This chart shows how executive function skills grow over time. Notice the sharp, dramatic spike in proficiency that happens between birth and age 5. These skills are building at their fastest rate right now. Offering a choice functions as an exercise that strengthens the brain's decision-making and self-regulation pathways. For the parent, the outcome is the same. The child gets stressed, but the child is the one doing the mental work. That defiant no is the first vital brick in the foundation of an independent human being. By shifting from rigid commands to bounded choices, you step into the role of the architect of your child's developing mind.